welcome back to TSBEC TV. After months of speculation, we are finally going to reveal the engine that is going to be fitted to the Creeper. And if you don't know, the Creeper is our project car. It's a Land Rover Series 3, which we are planning to put a ridiculous engine in with a lot more power than a Series 3 should probably ever have. And we very recently hit 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you very much for that. And as a reward, we are going to reveal what the engine is, because I think you've been guessing for long enough.
Yeah.
And the engine for the Creeper is an RB25. So this is more Nissa's decision than mine, so you can talk through everything in terms of why, basically.
Yeah.
But I'll just introduce it by saying the RB25, because that might be meaningless to a lot of you, comes from the Nissan Skyline, which is a pretty popular, well-known Japanese sports car, and they're capable of making up to about 450 horsepower? 500 horsepower, with the right, with stock internals and the right modifications and turbo and everything. We can get this up to 500 horsepower. And yeah, it's going to be a hell of a journey. And before I let you talk, Nizzo, I'll say one more thing. We did open up the floor for you guys to guess as to what this engine was going to be. And one person 2 weeks ago, so right at the end of kind of the guessing time frame, got it right. And that was a comment on Instagram from user Jonesy850, I believe, but I'll put it down on the screen here. So you will receive an Instagram message from us, and we'll send you some goodies, because we did promise that anyone who guessed it correctly would get some TSBEC TV stuff. And you were the only one, so well done. But Nissa, talk us through it.
Well, the first idea we had was get a 2JZ engine in it, which is a 3-liter straight 6, producing a lot of power. But then we kind of saw the size of it is a lot bigger, and the price especially is really high for 2JZs. It's like the double of what I got this one for. One of my friends, who we call the JDM Wizard, then came to me and said he has an RB25 DET with the Neo heads. And he got it from that guy who gets him from somewhere. And I went, alright, I'll give him a call. Called him up and said, yeah, he has two in his workshop right now. I can buy one of them if I wanted to. So I just kind of went over and bought one from him, which is, as I said, it's a RB25 DET, but it's got the Neo heads there, which makes, it's kind of, they put them on for the low emission so we can go through different tests, and they got mechanical lifters and not hydraulic lifters, which means you can actually get more power out of a Neo than you can than a stock head. So this one actually got the same type of power than RB26 got. An RB26 and 25 pretty much the exact same block. The only thing is that it's 100cc bigger, the RB26. But I'm pretty sure this one's going to be just fine for what we're going to use it for. And
could I just say as well that I know when we started this a long time ago, we kind of went with the storyline, or that we were going to go with a V8.
Yeah, V8.
And I think a lot of you were expecting that, and well, we did actually announce basically we kind of scrapped that idea.
We did.
And I can't remember why. Because it wasn't going to be a 3.5 or something.
Yeah.
And then
we're going to start out with 3.5 and then go to a 4.6, but they were just so damn expensive to get.
Was that okay with the price?
Yeah.
I couldn't even remember why we changed the plans.
Yeah.
And then we went from there to 2JZ, I think.
Yeah, to do.
Then they were just like not worth spending that much money when you can get this engine, which has as much capability basically for half the price. You know, same capability, same reliability and everything for half the price. So this kind of popped up, and it ended up being this. I think a lot of you were expecting like some big V8 or Cummins or something to put hairs on your eyeballs, basically. Something along those lines, and we went with this. We did want to go with 2JZ because they're mental, but RB25 is also going to be mental, and it's, as far as we know, not been done before
I've seen
in a Land Rover.
Yeah, I've seen one video on YouTube, as I said, where there's a one JC stuck into an old series. But I've never seen an RB25, an RB26, or just any RB stuck into a series, and actually proper photos of how they're done and the gearbox and all that.
And we have the gearbox as well, behind on the pallet.
Which is also from the Skyline.
Yeah. So we've got, everything. It's just a matter of honking it in, basically. And we don't have like much more to say because it is like unknown territory for us. This is a bit. We're just gonna go for it and just try it. And as Nissa said, we have a JDM wizard, if you like, an expert who's going to be helping us through this, because obviously this isn't our area of expertise.
You see that there's wires here. We don't do wires.
We don't do wires.
We do these ones.
Cables. We don't do
You know how those work.
So, Nissa, what's the next step in this whole thing?
The next step right now is that the JDM wizard will arrive tomorrow, and we're gonna pop the head off, and he's gonna take the head to his workplace where they got a huge industrial dish cleaner which uses petrol over 100 degrees to clean everything off. So the head's gonna be like new, and we're gonna have a look for any problems with it, because we don't know how far this engine has gone. What you see here is what I got. Got wires everywhere. I got the ECU with it, but we're gonna scrap that because we can't use the standard wiring. But he said it was about 100,000, maybe less than that. So we have to open it up and have a look and see what's actually like inside. But we turned it over with hand crank and everything seems fine. So we're going to do that first, and we're going to take pretty much everything stock off it. So it's just the engine block, and we're going to get turbo, we're going to do inlet manifold, and we're going to do something with the sump because it's a four-wheel driven. We already have an axle for the four-wheel drive, so that one needs to go off.
Yeah, it's still four-wheel drive and manual.
Yeah, it is. Which was what you guys said you wanted a four-wheel drive.
Yeah, you did. I think you kind of asked people, should we make this rear-wheel drive instead? Just make it some kind of nutty road car or something. But no, you wanted four-wheel drive, which I agree, I think is the right choice. And it fits. It looked big, but it does actually, it's been measured and it fits.
We've measured from the pan and all the way to the back here. And this bit is just about enough to have a radiator in front. If we cut the front panel off a bit of the Series 3, we should just about have enough space for it. But the only thing is the intercooler as well. That needs to go in somewhere, and I really want an oil cooler on it as well, because if the engine's going to run quite hot with the smaller radiator, I would like an oil cooler to cool the oil as well, which is going to lower the overall temperature in the car. So once we have the engine in it, it's going to be even more problems getting the right radiator, the intercooler, the oil cooler, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be a long process, and we haven't really thought this through. It is just we're just going to try it, and
but we know it fits inside the engine bay. As it is now.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, when it's done, it'll be one of a kind. It'll be mental, and it'll be something that we hopefully get a lot of fun out of. And get to share a lot of cool stuff with you guys as well.
So first step on this project is getting all the old wiring off. This whole loom here, we got the ECU down there as well, but we're going to be rocking another kind of loom. We would still like to keep all the connectors here so we can actually reuse those. So we're just going to unplug everything we can find and get all the wiring away. After that, we're going to take the exhaust manifold off, we're going to take the inlet manifold off because we're going to get new ones of those. Then we're going to flip them over, and we're going to take the sump off with the diff in it, and we're going to take the air conditioning off because we don't need that. So that is the plan for today, to get that done. And my friend said it's pretty much just like a Lego kit. Things only match in one way and everything just comes off easily. So it's now becoming the end of the first day of the RB transition or rebuild, if you can say that. We've got the inlet manifold out and off. We got the exhaust off as well. Turbo was one of my friends. He got the turbo because he wanted a stock one, so we got that, which is also the JDM Wizard. And we got the sump off, which is laying down there, which I then tomorrow need to cut here, all the way along that bit, and cut here so we can get the housing off because we're not going to be using that. And also tomorrow we're going to take the head off and get that completely cleaned, so it's going to be as new, and we're going to put a stronger head gasket on because we're going to be rocking more boost pressure, so that'll be going on. I got the air conditioning thingy-mabob on because we're not going to be rocking air conditioning, and some small bits and bobs, but hopefully he'll come back together in the end of the week. Starting to assemble him again, and I'm gonna have a look into see if I can get the new exhaust manifold and turbo this week as well, so we can get that side completely done, everything over here, and then we're gonna move over to this side when I get enough money to buy the other bit here, the inlet manifold. We're gonna take the fan off because we're gonna be rocking a electrical fan, the biggest radiator we can find, or fit in there. And we're gonna take this one off, which is like the stock water to oil oil cooler which sits here, but we're gonna take that off and we're gonna put a dedicated oil cooler with lines running in here and into the front of the intercooler as well, like we did on Bob at some point. So that's gonna happen to that thing. Otherwise than that, so he's looking pretty good. He hasn't been moving for a long time, this engine. We were just talking about these marks it got onto. It looks like it's like scorch marks because it's been running too hot. But we can also see on the oil we took out, it's like exactly the same color. So we are hoping it's just old oil left in there. You can kind of rub some of the big ones here off. It's pretty much just oil. So it's been standing for a long time with oil in it, which makes everything this color. We hope that's the reason why, and not because it's been running hot. And as I said, we tried to turn it before I brought it and turned just fine around. No funny sounds or anything. So yeah, we're gonna take the head off tomorrow and look into the cylinders and have a look and see what they're like, and take it from there really. So, but we got quite far away here from what's about 1.5 hours work I think it's taking us to get to this part.
Creeper's new engine, the RB25. Let us know your thoughts down below. I think some of you are going to be quite surprised at this choice. However, it is still going to be ridiculous. It is still going to make a ridiculous amount of power relative to what should be in a vehicle like that. So that is what we're going with, and this is kind of the beginning of the journey now, I think, from here on out, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens from here. So don't forget to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next video.